Hello guys, what is up? This is the Big Show NYC, and I'm here with NFL predictions for this upcoming season, as well as the playoffs and just everything else like that. Also, I'm just letting you guys know this may not be mathematically correct, and I apologize for that. We all do really apologize for that if a lot of these records are not really like how they would actually equal out. But yeah, we kind of half-assed it, and I'm here with two other people.
What's up, everybody? It's MJ Storm 21 here.
And Purple Blue 11.
Alright, so you guys want to start with the AFC East?
Sure, I'll start it off if anybody has a problem with that.
No, you can go ahead.
Alright, so starting off with the AFC East, I have first place going to be the New England Patriots going 10-6. Of course, they lost a lot of people. Wes Welker, Aaron Hernandez. Gronk might be injured for a while now. We don't know how he's going to handle up and how his future is. I mean, it's a bunch of injuries. But they are having a better defense. They have Ridley, who's becoming a better running back every year. He only has room to improve pretty much. But Brady, as we know of, he has no targets besides Danny Amendola, who they got in free agency.
Injury prone.
Also, if he isn't healthy this whole year, it could be a problem. So this team is a big question mark. If it goes bad luck sort of thing, where everything's going wrong or a lot of stuff's going wrong, this team has a chance not even to make the playoffs. But if everything goes right, this is going to be the elite Patriots team that we see every single year. So I think it's going to kind of be in the middle range. I think they're going to have a couple problems, not too many though. So I have them going 10-6 pretty much. Then second place, I'm going to have the Miami Dolphins going 8-8. This team really wasn't anything last year. They were kind of meh defense, not really good offense. All they had was really Reggie Bush and Brian, whatever his Heartline. I mean, they had nobody for receivers, but this year they were able to get a speedy wide receiver in Mike Wallace. I think that was a huge upside. Definitely going to help Tannehill progress as a quarterback. I don't think he's going to make a huge jump, but I think he's definitely going to be better than last year. I think this defense is going to be a little bit better. I think all around they're going to be a little bit better, despite losing Reggie Bush. So I think this is a solid 500 year, maybe 7-9 also, but I think they're going to end up being 8-8. Then I'm going to be having the New York Jets going 6-10. And this team, I don't know what to say about this team. The head coach is a freak, Rex Ryan. They have like three quarterbacks who honestly could be the starter in Sanchez, Geno Smith, even Greg McElroy. I think that's how you say his last name.
Or
McElroy, something like that. I don't know. I've only heard it a couple times. But they lost Revis also, which, is a huge loss. And that really affects that defense. It's not as good as it used to be now, of course. They still have Holmes is still down. You don't know when he's coming back, probably mid-season. You don't know how much that's going to help, though. You don't know how Geno's going to be. You never know what you're going to get from Sanchez. You always assume the worst. And is he going to be okay? Do you guys know?
He's questionable, but he'll
We're not going to play the first week.
I think he's going to play the first week.
Okay, I don't know.
Doesn't matter.
It doesn't really matter, though.
Sucks.
Because I feel like at the end, Geno Smith will have the quarterback spot because Mark Sanchez won't be able to keep up, and Rex Ryan will pray to get fired, probably. This team will go 6-10. Nothing but kind of rebuilding, I guess you could say, for this team. Then I'm going to have the Bills going 5-11. They're going to have the best player in America, Jeff Tooley, starting week 1.
Yeah, Jeff Tooley.
No, some no-name nobody knows. I literally never heard of the guy. Their defense has never been great, never been good, never really been decent. They got wide receivers, though. They got Robert Woods. They got Stevie Johnson, who's pretty good. I mean, if E.J. Manuel can come back after week 2 or week 3 or whatever, I think this team is in a good position for rebuilding. But as you are having a rebuilding stance, you're going to be losing games, and you're going to be losing a lot of them. So I think this is going to be a 5-12 or 5-11 season, for the Buffalo Bills. Oh, and also, I forgot to add, C.J. Spiller, great running back that they have, definitely gonna have a monster year. So sorry,
because it's gonna run like every single second. All right, but you want to take over for your predictions on the AFC East?
Me next?
Yeah.
Okay, first off, I have the New England Patriots first in the division, 11-5. They no longer have Hernandez, and Gronk will probably be out for a couple weeks at least.
I say 2.
They're not as good as they were last year, in my opinion, but then again, they're in the easiest division for the AFC, besides the AFC South. So they could either go to the Super Bowl, or they could be a meh team. Next, I have the Dolphins, 9-7. I consider them a sleeper team because I believe Tannehill was pretty underrated last year. He just didn't have the receiving he does this year. I think Mike Wallace is going to help him out a lot. And then Brian Hartline is pretty decent if he's healthy. For third place, I have the Buffalo Bills going 6-10. If PJ Manuel is healthy, they could be a decent team, get a couple of wins, but if he's not, then they're definitely not going to be a good team. CJ Spiller will probably carry the team for at least. He'll help them get at least half their wins. And then lastly, I have the Jets going 4-12. They're a pretty laughable team. No matter who's starting quarterback, they're both pretty mediocre. I was pretty disappointed with Geno Smith when he had his opportunity and he threw 3 picks.
Yeah, Jesus Christ.
Rex Ryan is the worst coach in the NFL, in my opinion. Their defense isn't really going to help them because their offense isn't going to be on the field for probably 2 minutes a game. And that's what I have for the AFC East.
Alright, so I'll go next. I have the Patriots going 12-4. This is if, like, Gronk comes back, does not go out, and plays like Gronk, and he can be, like, Brady's favorite target and whatnot. They don't have Wes Welker anymore, but they have Amendola, and if Amendola can stay healthy, as we said, they could be really good. So 12-4 is saying that this, if everything goes well, and even if it doesn't, I think they'll still have a record to make the playoffs anyways. Then I have Dolphins going 8-8. You guys already said everything. Yeah. Then Bills 5-11. You guys already said everything with that. Jets 3-13. I don't like the Jets. I don't know why. Their team is disgusting. Their organization is disgusting. No offense. I'm a Giants fan. I'm not the type of person to hate the Jets, but I just don't like Mark Sanchez. Maybe Chris Ivory can be something, but that's like, you can be the sleeper person, or you can be just a random player, really. Just, I don't know. If he's good, they can maybe have a better record, but I'm saying 3-13, and that's about it.
I forgot to add, too, that the Jets have Chris Ivory, but I don't think he's going to make that much of a difference for their team.
That's what I think. But he can either be a sleeper pickup or whatever. But
a bust.
Or bust. Okay, so you want to go to AFC North now? I guess I'll start that off.
All right,
so first I have the Bengals going 11-6. This is honestly not too strong of a division at all. And the Bengals have a good team. Josh Freeman. No, that's the Bucks. What am I saying? Oh my god! I always get the B's confused. Bengals and Bucks are so like, eh.
Yeah.
But yeah, what am I saying? Andy Dalton is pretty good, and they have Jarvis Green-Ellis. I'm pretty sure they have Giovanni Bernard maybe who may start, and he could be pretty good. And they just have an all-around good team. I really like their defense. Their defense is really great. And if all goes well, they'll end up having an 11-6 season. Maybe, not 11-6, 11-5 season. Maybe they may go 10-6. I'm not completely sure. But that's what I think about the Bengals. And then the Ravens are next. Obviously, they lost a lot of people. Their defense isn't as strong. Their offense is as strong. And everybody's going to be looking at Flacco and expecting the same exact, Super Bowl MVP type of person, the type of person to throw these long-ass passes and get them completed, and just the same player, but he won't be the same player without, like, Anquan Bolden, without, the defense backing him up, the offensive line, etc., etc., etc. And, he still has Torrey Smith, but, they have Dixon now, and Ray Rice is going to be, I think, put through more than he has before, but I think Flacco's going to try to throw the ball a lot, even though he doesn't have any targets, and I think they'll find a way to get themselves to 10-6, but it can go out even worse, and they may even miss the playoffs, being the Super Bowl champions the year prior to this, kind of like what the Giants did. And then after that, I have the Browns going 7-9. The Browns are actually a work in progress, in my opinion. They have young players. Brandon Weeden is decent, but I'm not a big fan of Brandon Weeden since he's a 29-year-old sophomore going into his second season, and he obviously came into the season late because he was in baseball in the minor leagues trying to make his way up. He kind of just said screw that and became an NFL quarterback, and he's actually quite decent. And Trent Richardson obviously has proved himself worthy. He's a really good rookie and will probably even be better as a sophomore, but who knows? You don't know that about Doc Martin. You won't know about the other rookie running backs or rookies in general who are coming into this season, who had a beast of a season, and you don't know what to really think. But Browns 7-9, they can become a really good playoff team in the future, in my opinion. And yeah, and then the mediocre Steelers at 6-10. I like Ben Roethlisberger. He's a decent quarterback, but their team is I don't know what else to really say. They're just mediocre, and they're not really going anywhere this year. That's all.
All right. Should I go next?
Yeah, go ahead.
For the AFC North, I have the Ravens in first place, 10-6. Last year, I didn't think they were going to make the Super Bowl at all. I thought they were going to lose to the Colts, and they proved me wrong. And this year, I think Flacco is going to have confidence from winning the Super Bowl, so he's not going to be like Joe Flacco anymore. I think he's going to be a pretty decent quarterback from now on. And of course, they have Ray Rice. My only question mark is on the defense. It's probably not going to be as good as it was last year. But it wasn't like it was an elite defense last year either.
I mean, they don't have Ed Reed anymore.
Yeah, and then Ray Lewis retired.
Yeah, so their defense is not going to be anywhere as good, but who knows?
And second, I have the Bengals 9-7. I feel like they're a pretty up-and-coming team. They're just not quite there yet. Andy Dalton's going to improve, but he's still not a top 10 quarterback. They have Giovanni Bernard. I can't even say his name right. He's probably going to have a pretty decent year, but I don't think he's going to be like the running backs last year where they just have a monster year.
Yeah.
For third place, I have the Browns going 7-9. They're getting better. They're not going to be the worst team in that division this year for once. Norv Turner is probably going to help Weeden progress a lot. And they have Trent Richardson. When Josh Gordon comes back, he'll probably help the team tremendously. And they'll probably be a pretty decent team in the up-and-coming years, but definitely not going to take the division for anytime soon. Lastly, I had the Steelers 6-10. I was not impressed with the Steelers over the last couple of years. They're getting older. Their defense isn't what it used to be. And then everyone thought Le'Veon Bell was going to be a big steal for them this year, but he's going to be injured. So he's not going to be the franchise running back. And I think Big Ben's going to get injured a couple times, and I don't know who would take command for them for quarterback, so I've been going 6-10.
All right, Michael, go ahead.
All right, so I'm going to start off with having the Bengals going 12-4 in this division.
Ooh.
This division is getting weak and better in a sense, I guess you could say. Weak in the Steelers, but better in the Browns, and then weak in the Ravens, but better in the Bengals.
Yeah, it's like
flip-flopping, yeah. So I feel like this Bengals team has everything they need for a Super Bowl contention next year. I think this year is kind of just progressing more into that thing, just playing really well, showing what they can do, and then next year I think they're really going to be a big threat with possibly Giovanni Bernard taking over that running back role, starting running back position. I think he'll be fine. Dalton, I think he's going to be getting better and better over the time. AJ Green, I'm not really actually high on AJ Green, just because he's small, I guess you could say. He's just not the biggest wide receiver, and usually when you see elite wide receivers, they're usually, big, like Des Bryant, Calvin Johnson. So I think that's a downside for him somewhat, but he makes it work. I'm not going to take that away from him. They also have a couple of young wide receivers, Mohamed Sanu, and Andrew Hawkins, I believe is his name.
Yeah.
Those are two wide receivers who will become great 2 or 3 guys, I feel like. Their defense is great. Geno Atkins, a couple notable guys also. I cannot remember their name. But it's like nothing's bad, I guess you could say. They have it set up and locked for everything to at least be decent. And that's what I like about this team. And you're going to be play 6 games against, Ravens, Steelers, Browns. I mean, I think they're going to, I think they could do pretty well. So I'm going to have them 12-4. Ravens, I'm going to have 10-6. I think we're going to be seeing Joe Flacco again.
I don't.
He's got his money. What does he have to lose? Honestly, he has like
he has
60
his eyes on him now.
Total.
People rate him to be the top 3 best quarterbacks. So he has everybody on him. Like
he's not elite.
He's not elite. He's not. But he thinks he's elite, and he's expected to be elite. And everybody has his eye on him. So
I'll say this though. Joe Flacco in the NFL right now is the best playoff quarterback in the NFL. I will say that though. He's shown nothing but greatness in the playoffs. I don't even think he's missed the playoffs in his whole career, actually. He's done very well the past couple of years also in the playoffs. Almost got to the playoffs, but the kick miss, Super Bowl back-to-back times.
Yep.
So, I mean, he's just played very well in the playoffs. Regular season, different story. I haven't seen the same thing that I saw in the playoffs from him. That can change. I don't think it's very likely. Ray Rice is a huge question mark for me because he doesn't get a lot of attempts because they have a good backup in Bernard Pierce who can get a couple touches also. So you'll see Ray Rice sometimes only get like 12 touches, 8 touches a game. For an elite running back, that's bad. That is bad. He should be getting 18 to 20 plus per game. I don't understand why teams do that. Eagles do that also, but I'll get to them later.
I think he's going to get more touches this year.
Hopefully. Then this defense, they lost a lot of guys, as everybody know. They got Elvis Dunnerville. I think that's a great pickup, even though he was supposed to be with the Broncos. But I think this team's going to be 10-6. I think they're going to get to the playoffs. I think they're just going to play Ravens football. But definitely no big surprises. Only guy I could see as a surprise is Jacoby Jones. But that's all at it. Wow, I'm bad today. Jacoby Jones. All right, third, I'm going to have the Browns going 8-8. This team has a great future with them. Trent Richardson, I think, is going to be the one guaranteed rookie to sophomore who will have a great year. Last year he was banged up with ribs and feet, I think, and he was still doing great. Imagine him being healthy. He is a stud. He was a great pickup for the Browns in the draft. Love him. Simply love him. And Brandon Weeden, of course, not their franchise quarterback, but they'll have time to get somebody. I think Weeden is going to have a much better year this year. I think he's going to be doing pretty good this year, shocking some people, I feel like. Not to a big extent, but he'll be a sleeper guy. The defense looks very good. They got Paul Kruger from the Ravens. I think that was a great pickup there. And, I mean, the only thing they're missing is wide receivers, really. All they have is Josh Gordon, who's going to be suspended. So, I mean, I guess that's the only bad thing for the Browns, but they can fix that. So, they have a good future heading on. And then I have the Steelers going 5-11. Worst record out of all us three picking them. The Steelers team, as you two said, old, just nasty.
It's like they're dying.
Yeah, they're like a fruit just shriveling up. It's just
Sit,
mean-
hike!
Levon Bell is like hurt, of course. Is he supposed to be coming back? I think he is.
Yeah.
He will.
Mid to late season. We don't know what we're gonna see from Roethlisberger. I mean, he has talents of being elite, but he's getting older. They lost Mike Wallace, but that does give Antonio Brown and Emmanuel Sanders to progress. They don't even have Heath Miller. He's on the IR. So, I don't know. I don't know what about this team. They don't really have too much of a future, if any future at all. I don't even know if they even have a backup quarterback, because I know their two guys, I'm pretty sure, went to free agency, or at least Charlie Batch did. So, this team, if you're a Steelers fan, I feel bad for you, because this is... It's like being a fan of a really good team that's finally downfalls. Like, I guess the Yankees soon. Finally gonna downfall.
Yeah.
I mean, it's just bad for them. No future going on, so
No farm
I've been going
system.
5-11.
Yeah. So we're going off to the AFC South. Boo, you want to start that one off?
Sure. I don't have the Jaguars going first, of course.
Good.
Even though I'm a fan.
Wow.
Round of applause.
Good job, Boo.
Round of applause.
He's a Jaguars fan.
Yeah.
For you guys.
For first place,
Welcome,
I have the Indianapolis Colts going 12-4.
What?
I don't feel like last year was. Can I continue?
Sorry.
Hey,
All right.
I don't hate it.
I don't feel like last year was a fluke. I think Luck is not going to have a sophomore slump. And I checked the record just to pull it up because I knew you were going to question me. They're only playing 3 playoff teams from last year, so they have a pretty easy schedule. I don't see anyone really challenging them except the Texans in that division. So I have them going 12-4. Next, I have the Texans going 11-5. Matt Schaub is not an elite QB, so he can have his fluko moments. Everything else, though, is pretty good. Their team's getting healthier, and Aaron Foster is most likely going to be back for the first week.
Yeah, well, he's already back pretty much.
I thought he was still injured.
He's probable now.
But the only concern with them, too, on offense is their wide receivers besides Andre Johnson. Unless their rookie steps up, they don't really have anyone else except Owen Daniels. They're a pretty good team. They're just they're not quite there yet. Last year they got stomped by the Patriots. They just can't beat those elite teams yet. And this is gonna be pretty questionable. But next I have the Jaguars going 6-10.
Meh.
I'm
I'm
not
not gonna bash you for that.
I'm not really sure what to expect from them because Blaine Gabbert's was injured last year, and then the first year he came in, it was during the lockout, so he wasn't even supposed to play that year, but they just kind of threw him in. But I've been watching him over the preseason, and he did get better. They kind of made the offense suited for him, so he could surprise a couple of people. Plus 2 other games have to play the Titans, which I have 5-11. I don't know what to expect from them either. The Jaguars and Titans can switch for their positions because Jake Locker, I don't know what to expect from either. He didn't play that much last year, and it's not that accurate. Besides Chris Johnson, I don't really see this team having anything that great going for them. And who wants to go next?
I'll go next, I guess.
Alright.
Alright, so I have the Texans going 12-4 in first place. I feel like this team's gotten better with addition of Ed Reed. J.J. Watt's going to become better. Schaub, like Boo said, not elite, but he gets the job done. Well, I guess we can say. He can get the job done. This team is really good in the regular season, which is why I have them going 12-4. But playoffs, they're not really that much of a playoff team, I feel like.
Yeah.
Just not there yet.
You're like an Atlanta
But-
team, except not in Atlanta.
Yeah, like the Hawks in basketball. Like there's certain teams who are just really good in the regular season and just crash and burn in the playoffs.
Braves are going
Those-
to do that.
Those are one of the teams. So I think the Texans can prevail, win some games, go 12-4. I'm looking at their thing now, their schedule. It is sort of difficult, but I don't think they're going to be losing to all these sort of teams. I think they'll be okay, 12-4. And then second, I have the Colts going 9-7. The overrated Indianapolis Colts. Everybody is giving them so much hype. I don't see why.
Andrew Luck.
I'm not going to take anything away from Andrew Luck. I think he's going to have a great season. But, I mean, just... I don't understand why everybody's so hyped about them. Their defense isn't that great. Their only wide receivers are Reggie Wade and T.Y. Hilton. I mean, that's good and all. But you don't know if Reggie Wade's going to do the same exact thing. That was his best game or season in forever. I mean, you don't know if T.Y. Hilton's going to do this again. I feel like he is, though. I don't even know who their tight end is. I don't even know who their running back is.
Cody Fleener.
I mean, I don't think Bradshaw's going to end up having the starting job at the end of the year. I'm not a fan of Bradshaw.
Nor am I, even though he's a Giant.
He's inconsistent as
ball sacks, yeah.
It's literally, it's not even funny. So, I mean, this team, they have pieces, but I don't see, as Boo saying, them going 12-4. I don't think this team is yet to that standard. And last year, I feel like was a fluke. The whole head coach having cancer thing that really wanted them to win so much more. They had a new reason to win, and I feel like that got them over the hump. I don't think that's going to happen again, of course, with, the cancer situation with their coach. They lost Bruce Arians also. We don't know how that's going to be. I just think that this team is getting too hyped, way too much. I feel like they're overrated, picking them 9-7. Then I have the Titans going 5-11, like Boo said. This team, it's sad to say, but they really don't have many future pieces besides, Kenny Britt and probably a couple defenders.
Chris Johnson.
Chris Johnson, definitely not a part of their future. He's going to be getting older and older, and he's one of those running backs who will either have a 150-yard game with, 80, 60-yard touchdown run, or he's going to have, 8 attempts for, 14 yards. I mean, it's terrible. This guy is the epitome of inconsistent, I guess you could say. Bradshaw's called Chris Johnson 2.0. It's quarterback is just not good, really. Jake Locker, nothing special about him, just your average quarterback, I feel like. And I don't know where this team's going to go. And then you have the Jaguars going, or I have the Jaguars going 4-12. Maurice Jones-Drew getting back is a huge upside. I think he's an elite running back still. I feel like he hasn't lost anything. He was leading the league in yards, in total rushing yards, before, his injury.
Yeah.
So, I mean, there's nothing to say bad about him, really. He's, I guess you could say, their only great player. I don't even know anybody on their defense. Defense is it's below average as of now. But they have 2 wide receivers who are great for their situation right now. Cecile Shorts and Justin Blackman, despite Blackman going to be suspended. Now this is just going to give... They got the wide receivers for Gabbert. Now let's see how Gabbert does. Gabbert, yeah. I know, people trash on him and anything. I trash on him. But he's never really had a full season of healthiness or preparation. This should be his first season of that.
Year.
Yeah. So if he doesn't show any signs of future franchise QB at all, then it's just a waste for the Jaguars. But I think he's going to do decent. He's not going to be horrific. I think he'll end up being better than Sanchez and Geno and Ponder at the end of the season. But right now, I have those guys over him. I have him as the worst quarterback. But I think he'll be able to make that change. Shorts, I think, is going to have a nice year. Blackman, I think he's going to have a really good year. MJD's going to have a great year. And 4-12, this team has a future at least going on.
All right. So first they got the Colts going 11-5. I don't think they're going to be a fluke. That's kind of a biased opinion. I always like the Colts. They've always been like my second favorite team. I don't know. I just whenever like they were in the playoffs, and I was never really like a football fan my whole entire life. So whenever like I'd always watch the playoffs though. Whenever they were in the playoffs, I'd always root for them if the Giants weren't there. Saying they're going 11-5, I don't think they really have that much of a fluke. Again, they don't have any targets. They have T.Y. Hilton, Reggie Wayne. You don't really expect out of them. And that's all I have to really say for them. You guys really pointed out everything else. Texans 10-6. Obviously, they have a really dominant defense, and they have good receivers. Andre Johnson is getting older, though. Matt Schaub is not really that great of a quarterback, and I think that may just lead them out of some of the games. Obviously, they have Arian Foster, debatably the first or second best running back, if you want to say Adrian Peterson's better than him. And yeah, I just see the Texans going 10-6. Now here's a toss-up, but Jaguars going 5-11 and Titans going 5-11. I think Jaguars will have the upper hand on them. Maurice Jones-Drew coming back is definitely a plus. Isn't Blaine Gabbert like 23 years old? Like he's a young.
Yeah, he's like one of the youngest.
He's a fucking young one, so he has definitely time to progress. In my opinion, I'm not gonna hate on him. I think he has potential, a lot of it, and he has a lot of time to progress if he has that time. If he gets replaced and he's fucked, in my opinion.
Yeah.
I think he's gonna get them some wins. Maurice Jones-Drew obviously coming back, gonna get some wins. Cecil Shorts, good receiver. Their defense, they got some new people, I believe, on their defense, which may make them a bit better, I think.
Yeah, they're not going to be as bad as they were last year, in my opinion.
Yeah.
For defense.
So I think they're going 5-11. That's that can be. They can even improve to 6-10, in my opinion. They may not even be that bad of a team, but that's if everything goes well. But they do have a future. And Titans 5-11, fourth in the AFC South, as you guys said. Not much going on really with them. Not many young ones. Not much of a future. Mediocre quarterback. Freaking inconsistent running back, and not many targets. And just I don't like the Titans. That's really all I have to say about them.
They're just kind of disgusting.
Yeah, and they're just a mediocre team overall, in my opinion. Anyways. I want to go out to AFC South. I mean AFC West now. Obviously, AFC South.
You can start, Ellie.
I can start off.
Yeah.
Okay. So the AFC West, I have first going the Broncos 14-2. Now let me say why. Obviously, they have the easiest schedule in the NFL, and I think them going 14-2 was going to be quite easy for them. They obviously have an OP team. They have Wes Welker, Demarius Thomas. They have Peyton Manning, obviously. They have Decker being their third receiver, and he's pretty good. So they have three dominant wide receivers. They have Monty Ball. You don't know how well he's going to do, but he may do very well as their running back. And they have a good defense as well. And they're just a really good team overall. Really good offense, good defense, and 14-2 in a very easy schedule is like just bang. Then, second, we got the Chargers going 8-8.
Rivers.
Honestly, yeah, Phillip Rivers used to be elite. I am guessing, yeah, he used to be elite, right?
Pretty much, or to that second standard of QB-ness.
Yeah,
much.
he used to be really good. Now he's like decent, I guess. He fumbles a lot, but he may do them some good. They have a pretty decent defense, and I don't know. They don't have a Janari Alexander anymore, right?
Yeah, he's out for the season.
So that may be a bit of a downbreak for them. But I still really see them going 8-8, maybe 7-9, probably 7-9. But I'm gonna stick with 8-8. I don't have much to say about the Chargers. Decent team, not gonna go anywhere though. Then we got third, the Chiefs going 6-10. Yeah, they got a new coach, the Eagles coach. Then you got Alex Smith. So you got fat-ass coach Andy Reid. No disrespect to him. I actually like Andy Reid. But then you got Alex Smith, who's a decent quarterback. I don't know. I kind of found it a dick move that the 49ers kind of just replaced him. But, yeah, I don't know. I don't really see the Chiefs doing much this season. They have a good defense. Well, pretty good defense. They had, like 6 Pro Bowlers from the defense last year or something. So they have a pretty good defense. They don't really have many good receivers. Like, they have, what's his face? Dwayne Bowe. They have Dwayne Bowe.
Yeah.
He's going to be decent. Definitely going to have a better year this year because they actually have a quarterback. And if Alex Smith can actually stay healthy, that is. Well, he will stay healthy. I'm pretty sure he will. And I don't know. I'm just not big of a. I'm just not really high on the Chiefs, and I don't really know too much about them, anyways. But I say I'm going 6-10, and then the 5-11 Raiders, who have a terrible defense. Matt Flynn. I don't know how well he's going to do. Pryor, who knows? Maybe he may even take over the spot. And I'm being generous giving them 5-11. I think Raiders are a horrible team, to be honest, but they have Daenerys Moore. They don't have Brandon Myers anymore at the tight end. The Raiders are a bad team in my opinion. They have really nothing going for them this year. My bad. I just had something in my throat. And then I don't know. I don't really like the Raiders. This is disgusting, and I don't have much to say about them. So who wants to take over this?
Boo, you can take over.
All right. For first, I have the Broncos going 12-4. They're a very good team. It's just I looked at their schedule, and they could slip up a game to the Ravens, Patriots, or maybe even the Chiefs at one point. I mean, there's nothing really you can say about them. It's just they have to execute. If they're playing their best, you're not going to beat them, but if Peyton Manning has an off game, then you have a chance to beat them. Next, I have the Chargers going 7-9. They lost Norv Turner, so that could affect their offense a little bit. Philip Rivers is bipolar sometimes. He's not as good as he used to be. I don't really know that much else about the Chargers. Just they have no shot at winning the division.
No way. Having the wild card, no, they don't have any chance.
Yeah. For third place, I have the Chiefs going 5-11. Alex Smith is like a roller coaster. Either he's going to be really good for you, or he's going to have an off game. They have Jamal Charles, Andy Reid, Dwayne Bowe. The players are all going to be better because of Andy Reid, and they actually have a quarterback. But again, they have to play the Broncos and Chargers, which I don't see them winning most of those games. And last, I have the Raiders going 1-15. It doesn't matter who they have at quarterback. They're just not going to win a game. I mean, the only game that I can see them winning is the Jaguars, while the Jaguars are playing them at Oakland, and that's a big if. I just don't see anything positive for this team. Darren McFadden is the most injury-prone running back in the league.
Oh, poor Darren McFadden. I
love
actually like him, but he's injury-prone.
Receivers are not like.
Who the hell are their receivers? I don't know anybody.
Besides Marius Moore, I don't even know who else they have.
Yeah, seriously, they're awful.
So I see them going 1-15. See you next year, Raiders.
Oh God.
Okay. Well, I'm gonna have the Broncos going first, being first, obviously, going 14-2.
Yay.
I think this team is only going to be shaky at the start of the year because no Von Miller. Their defense is starting to become banged up a little bit, but once you get to the almost midpoint of the year, they're just going to be fine. They'll be cruising. 14-2. You guys pretty much summed it up about them. I guess I could point out that even if Monte Ball doesn't turn out to be what they're expecting, they still have no Sean Moreno, who can still put up the same numbers that they're expecting from him, at least. So,
no shot.
I mean, you have guarantees from guys. So, nothing really else to say about the Broncos. You guys pointed it out.
Cruising, no losing. Cruising, no losing.
Yeah. Then I'm gonna have the Chiefs going second, going 7-9. I think this team getting Smith was a huge upside because now they actually have a quarterback. Alex Smith, before the concussion, of course, was playing his best football ever, honestly. He was playing great. I mean, not 300 plus passing yards or whatever, but he was getting the job done, and that's what any coach asks for a non-elite quarterback, I guess you could say. I don't think Andy Reid will really make much of a difference on this team, I feel like. I don't think it's not major upside, but no downside either.
Fried chicken every Friday, man.
Dude. Dwayne Bowe's finally going to have a quarterback to throw to him. I think that's good. Defense is not really that great. Jamal Charles, he's another kind of good or bad season.
He's like bipolar as fuck.
Like along with Chris Johnson, they're just those two are bipolar running backs that you don't know what you're going to get out of them. Third, I'm going to have the San Diego Chargers with their quarterback
Philip Rivers.
I don't think this guy's going to have a good season at all.
Aww.
I don't think he's going to come back to what he used to be ever. It's sad because Chargers actually used to be one of my favorite teams when I didn't know football.
I didn't.
And then I found out they were really overrated.
I didn't know they existed back then, to be honest.
Yeah, they were like one of the most known teams, and they were always expected to win it all, and then they would miss the playoffs. Or
I think it's because they drafted Eric Leaf one year.
Oh God.
So that they have such a good talent running back in Ryan Matthews, but he's the most disappointing piece of crap ever.
Excuse me, he's gonna be the best on my fantasy team. Watch out.
He was really good one year. I feel like it's 2 years ago. But last year, he just showed no sign of being what he used to be. And
Rivers possessed him.
He has a lot of talent. There's Denario Alexander. I don't know anything about their defense. It's crap, probably.
It's decent.
I mean, who's he gonna pass it to? Something Floyd.
Floyd, I guess.
Floyd, yeah. I mean, Antonio Gates is getting so old now. It's just bad. And then I had the Oakland Raiders going 3-13.
Woo-hoo!
Best defense in the NFL by far. Best quarterbacks, best wide receivers by far. The healthiest running back by far. This team's going nowhere. It's so sad. Their drafting is despicable. It's just trash. They don't know how to draft. This team just has no future. Matt Flynn, I feel like, is going to end up losing his job.
I feel bad for Matt Flynn.
Flynn I feel like he's just getting screwed over. I feel like I feel like if he was actually in the NFL starting quarterback, he would be better than a lot of these guys, like a Kevin Kolb, Jake Locker. But no, he just doesn't get the chance. And then there's this random guy who does one thing and just, prevails over him. I think Pryor is going to end up being the starting quarterback over him, honestly. Just because of the couple signs we saw from one game, I feel like. It's stupid, but that's how it goes, I guess. Nothing else to say about this team. You guys covered it pretty much, so...